with everyone celebrating and thanking those who served our country. But hiring veterans can be a way to thank them all year long. LaSalle Network founder and CEO Tom Gimbel joins us now to talk about the benefits of hiring veterans. Hello, Tom.
Hey, Micah, how are you? Happy
I'm
Veterans
great.
Day.
Happy Veterans Day. People don't realize that this would be such a plus to their business if they hired a veteran.
Oh, I think there's so many things. Number one, there's the intrinsic value to doing something right for somebody who gave years of their lives to service to protect our country. And I think that that's really what's special about this. But then you get somebody who comes in and they've been a leader in a volunteer organization that you're also getting paid, which is such a unique combination. They're experiencing working in diverse teams, black, white, brown, men, women, old, young, and they learn to adapt to different situations. And coming out of the last 20 years, you're talking about the Afghanistan war, the Iraq war, if you were spent time overseas and what's been going on, even though we haven't entered the conflict in Russia and Ukraine, the threat of that, and now the Middle East, you've got people who have integrity, that they have said they're going to do something and they're standing behind their word. I think when you combine all that, plus the idea of helping out people who are transitioning into a new part of their life, it's just a really rewarding experience.
So how do you help them to succeed once they get a job?
Well, I think that's really the unique thing, is to realize that they're coming from a different world. So think about this, from the basics of their clothes have been picked out for them and they didn't have to worry about style and fashion, number one. Number two, that they're in the business of taking orders from other people, and now they're going to get paid to think and come up with solutions. Those are the two biggest transitions that I see time and again where companies fail, is teaching people that, you know, not everybody comes out as a sergeant or a lieutenant or a colonel or what have you, and that you've got to give people the ability to understand that in corporate America, asking for forgiveness rather than permission is something that didn't exist in the military. And so encouraging that kind of entrepreneurial attitude is something that can really help a veteran succeed.
And that's where the boss comes in, not just hiring them, but working with them to help them matriculate, to help them learn how the company goes and understanding where they're coming from.
Absolutely, Micah. What it really gets into is what culture is about. And a lot of people think, well, you hire a veteran, you have a good culture. You hire a person of color, you've got a good culture. That's not really it. The key is when you bring somebody in who's different in whatever capacity, it's how you onboard them, how you teach them, how you help them succeed. Because so often people don't realize what they're allowed to do or what they should say. And sometimes they need to follow the breadcrumbs a bit and then get some confidence under their belt. And once they have the confidence, then the sky's the limit. To me, that's the fun of doing this and having veterans on board.
And mental health support is very key.
Yeah, I mean, listen, somebody's as a civilian myself, and except for one uncle not having any relatives who served in the military, for most of us to even understand what it's been like to go through being in the military or the armed services, but then to assimilate back into society is really challenging. And a lot of people may think that going to therapy and mental challenges are a sign of weakness. But when the CEO or leadership tells them, hey, we've got a great health insurance plan, we want you to go to therapy, you can do that. That type of encouragement tells somebody this is a little bit different than what I've ever been exposed to.
What would you say are the best industries that veterans should be looking?
I think it's unlimited. I'm really not going to pigeonhole it. I've seen it work in healthcare. I see it in technology. I'm in the professional services business. It really doesn't make a difference what industry. The question is, can somebody see that if they take and a lot of times it's going to be an entry-level job, because what you did in the military, the skills are transferable, but they don't lend itself to day one. So you come into more of an entry-level or quasi-entry-level job, and if you're good, you're going to get promoted really quickly. And that can be in any industry. And it's about hard work, putting your head down, executing what's asked of you, and then having some creativity. And people in the military, or people who've been in the military and are veterans, they just have so many skills that it's a shame not to give them a shot.
Tom Gimbel, LaSalle Network founder and CEO, always nice to talk to you.
Great talking to you too.
Take
And
care.
the best to our veterans. We need you.
Definitely. We thank them all for their service.
Absolutely.